witnesses for being here and for your time. And to Mr. Kelly's comment, I absolutely spent most of my career in the private sector for a long time before coming to Congress, and as someone who worked hard and worked in small businesses and in big businesses, I know one of the most important things to building a strong economy is making the right investments and certainty and stability. We have no certainty and stability. We have whiplash with the administration's positions on tariffs. They're on, they're off. We've talked a lot about the impact that's already having on Nevada and reduced tourism. Businesses aren't investing because they don't know what's happening going forward. Manufacturers are uncertain because they're losing customers. People don't want to necessarily buy products from the U.S. if they aren't sure what the rates of what the prices of products are going to be when tariffs are on again, off again. And now we even have a deadline of August 1st, and we don't even know what's happened. Congress should have a say on that, and there should be more courage from members from this committee, from Republicans, to make sure that Congress has a say on what happens on trade policy and to make sure that we have that stability going forward. And then the investments in working families to make sure families are doing well. And unfortunately, this big ugly bill has made its priorities clear. Focus on the wealthiest and the well-connected. The tax breaks for the wealthiest, the well-connected for large corporations happen to be permanent, but they're paying lip service to working families. Only limited and temporary provisions in this bill for working families. It's a broken promise. Trump and Republicans said they were going to lower costs on day one, but that has not happened at all. We've seen costs go up. Food, we're talking about what the impact this bill has on energy, on housing, for working families who are trying to get by, on childcare. All of these things are going against working families, and this bill is a broken promise. Since January, we've seen over and over the impact of this administration on Republicans, and now we're here, I guess, in a hearing to just try to promote their bill, but I think stripping 15 million people across the country of their health care coverage, gutting nutrition programs, rolling back energy tax credits, all things that actually give us a great return, is all part of this big broken promise. Senator Cannizzaro, thank you for being here. I've been a longtime supporter and leader on the child tax credit. I worked with House colleagues to expand the child tax credit in the American Rescue Plan. It was signed by President Biden, and Republicans let that version of the child tax credit expire. Now they're trying to take a victory lap while 22 million American children live in families based on the policy in this bill. They don't earn enough money to receive the full child tax credit. We know that when we give, and many of these are families struggling to get by, working hard, but we're leaving them out because they don't make enough money to earn the full credit. This bill does not make the child tax credit fully refundable, which means we get money to the folks who need it the most. What does that impact? What does the impact of that have on Nevada, on the families who rely on the credit to make the ends meet?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman. I would note that Nevada is primarily a working class state. So we are comprised of working class families who fall right into those parameters that you discussed. Housing costs here have risen faster than other states. Our healthcare costs have been high. Childcare is extremely hard to find and incredibly expensive, and so on and so on. And so when you take money out of working class Nevadans' pockets, people make tough choices about giving things up. Rent doesn't get paid, utilities don't get paid, car payments, people go into debt. And often when people get behind, it's difficult or impossible for them to catch up financially, especially if they're also trying to provide for children. So not having that be fully refundable and putting that money into working class families' pockets, of so many of which are impacted here in Nevada, makes a real difference.
Absolutely, and we know when we had policy where the child tax credit was refundable, we cut childhood poverty across this country almost in half. We could have done a lot more if we keep that policy going. Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Mr.